One of WrestleMania's greatest collisions comes to its scintillating conclusion with Razor Ramon just managing to outlast Shawn Michaels, claiming possession of the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 10. We head to WrestleMania 13. Rosemont, Illinois would play host to the most important night on the sports entertainment calendar. And on this night, a match that is the literal definition of an all-time classic unfolded. Bret Hart had been the face of WWE's new generation for years, proudly defending the WWE Championship against all comers and defending WWE's honor against its most heinous villains. After losing the WWE Championship to Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania 12's Iron Man match, the Hitman took some time off to consider his future options. When he returned, roughly 6 months later, there were drastic changes to the landscape of WWE's universe. Top among those was the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin. The man who started the year off as Ted DiBiase's ringmaster would find freedom in his true identity, dropping his manager and finding superstardom in the wake of his 1996 King of the Ring tournament victory.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
WWE was trying to find its attitude, but the seeds of change were being planted in the fans who had rallied around Austin. His no-nonsense attitude had made him the ultimate anti-hero. When Bret made his return, he immediately challenged Austin, who was more than ready to answer the call. The two battled at 1996's Survivor Series, where Hart won in a masterful performance of a feverish back-and-forth battle. Eliminate Hart from the 1997 Royal Rumble match after officials missed Hart first eliminate Austin. The night after Hart captured the WWE Championship at Final Four, Austin would interfere in Hart's first defense on Raw, ending the reign before it could even get started. And former MMA champion Ken Shamrock. And while Hart had the edge in submission wrestling, Austin was no slouch in that department. Once the match started, these two unleashed months of hatred on one another.
A lot of people think that the WrestleMania 13 match between myself and Bret the Hitman Hart is one of the best of all time. Certainly one of the best in all of WrestleMania. To me, it's a very special match because everything happened so magically, and specifically WrestleMania 13 cemented the legacy of who and what Stone Cold Steve Austin was. From start to finish, we started it off, we brawled out, we
immediately showed why this match was perfect for him. Submission opportunities would come. As the two continued to fight, the action would again return. Despite being victorious, Bret Hart's post-match attack on Steve Austin only served to galvanize the fans into fully. Steve Austin fighting the sharpshooter with everything he has, taken out in a heinous attack at the 1999 Survivor Series. Austin would be out for nearly a year before returning at No Mercy in 2000. Austin would first look to exact revenge on those who took him out, Rikishi and Triple H. Stone Cold would then head to the 2001 Royal Rumble, entering at number 27. Before he could enter the ring, he'd again be attacked by Triple H, looking to avenge Austin's interference earlier in the night. Austin was in bad shape, but somehow managed to emerge victorious, securing his opportunity to compete for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 17. Defending against Austin would be The Rock, Austin's main rival for years. The two legends personify the Attitude Era and had previously met for the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania 15. That night, Stone Cold managed to defeat the corporate champ to regain the championship. On that same night that Rock captured the WWE Championship at No Way Out 2001, Austin would face Triple H in a 3 stages of hell match. Each fall would be held under different rules: a standard match, a street fight, and then a steel cage if necessary. The loss shook Austin, who felt the wave of momentum he was riding should have been unstoppable.
I need to beat you, Rock. I need it more than anything that you can ever imagine.
When you headline an event, you've got to be on top of your game, be in the best of your game to put on a show and to warrant that main event status.
Austin was going to do everything he could to guarantee the nearly 68,000 attending in his home state of Texas would not be disappointed. It's hard while Austin was out to establish himself as the man in WWE. And the opportunity to prove his status with this WrestleMania rematch had the Brahma Bull almost bursting at the seams.
Just bring it!
He'd been through the battles, he'd come into his own, nothing was handed to him, he earned it all, and he turned himself into the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. At no point in time in wrestling history were two stars, two wrestlers, as hot as both I was and The Rock was. It's hard to explain why we're such good opponents. We just were.
WrestleMania 17 in 2001, a night that serves as the pinnacle of the Attitude Era's excellence, with its two biggest names doing battle once again. Before the bell could even make this match official, the tactics? Would he be able to get back into the match quickly before Austin really started stomping a mud hole? Once the action went to the ringside area, the Brute WWE champion. Back and forth they'd gone, but need a strike and finish his quest of regaining the WWE Championship under some unthinkable circumstances. It was inevitable. Stone Cold was going to win, and it was obvious to everyone watching. The Rock had been able to get back into it once Mr. McMahon had arrived.